The way that the things are developing right now in Minneapolis and the state are in some ways like nothing I've ever seen before. The immediate self-organizing into hyper-local support networks of all kinds, combined with the observers, combined with creative, more proactive types of organizing. On the other hand, you can see within it the echoes and the ripples of what's been coming before. Clearly this movement is deeply shaped by the uprising following the murder of George Floyd. And there are many new people coming into this movement space that have never done that before. But what they find when they come into those spaces are people able to provide guidance because they were doing the mutual aid work during the combination of pandemic and George Floyd aftermath. They were doing organizing, protest, all of these things, right? Art in some ways is really like the mirrors of society, right? What's happening internally in a human being presented in the outside world to reflect back what we're experiencing. And when we're experiencing something collectively, the art that's being produced validates that experience, tells the stories that we know need to be told and we're not necessarily seeing elsewhere. And we're seeing this outpouring of art in the same way that we saw it when George Floyd was murdered, right? It's being created in the forms of both murals, memorial spaces for people who have been killed, a lot of silk-screened posters and buttons and things like that, signs, a lot of creativity happening everywhere. I have been kind of astounded by the number of new songs being created, both by well-known celebrity artists and people just composing their own songs, putting them on social media, and of great quality. When you have a movement with that much of a cultural sort of scale, a cultural atmospheric level, that comes back and continues to strengthen people's resolve and strengthens people's sense that we're doing the right thing. When you see 1,600 people filling a church singing together, and then those people go out into the community that much more strengthened in their resolve to not back down. What I have seen here is something that, quite frankly, I didn't know we had it in us to this extent, to this deep range of community response, a multiracial movement based on solidarity. And you see that in what a lot of immigrant families and immigrants are telling the public, telling each other, telling us, is that they have never experienced solidarity like this. They never imagined that so many people so different from themselves would have their back. And that's going to create long-lasting changes in relationships and in whatever happens in the short term in the way we move forward from here. That's really quite powerful.